Yo, tripping balls. Dropped 3 hits of pink Rhino. Howdy, y'all, and welcome back. The pink Rhino laser training cartridge. I think yeah, there we go. Laser training cartridge. So I've seen these. Topic first came up when I was doing the Mantis reviews a while back, and people mentioned these, and I'm like, another training gimmick, laser gizmo, whatever. And then finally I broke down and tried one, and okay, this is pretty cool. So I think especially if you're real into doing your Mantis dry practice, I think it's a cool extra gizmo to add. But if you're like me and you're not really into the gizmos and using the Mantis, I kind of like my old school dry practice. I still think this is a good idea. And I'll touch here in a minute on one of the other reasons I think it's a great idea. But just being able to confirm, we like to lie to ourselves a little bit about exactly what our sights were doing at the second that we press the trigger, and this just kind of helps keep you honest. It is momentary only. It's not like a bore sight kind of situation. It just blinks real quick when the striker hits. But for a dry practice tool, I think it has value. And for around $40, even if you didn't use it that often, I think it's probably worth having. So let's take it over to the table, get a closer look, and then we'll run through some actual practice. I need to mention that getting this thing to show up on camera has been one of the hardest. Like getting optics to show up is always challenging when you're making a video. This thing was like, wow. So I had to resort to some weird lighting conditions to get it to show up on camera, but here we go. So here's a closer look. Has a little rear section here that unscrews. Batteries go inside. Close it up tight. You have little O-rings front and rear to protect your barrel. That's your laser end. And that, you can see where the striker has been hitting it. That's your activation button. And we just drop it into the chamber like so. It does not have a rim on it, so that allows you to rack the slide without ejecting it. So it stays in there. I usually end up using like a Bic pen or something to poke it back out. It will kind of lodge down in the chamber there. And then what I like to do is use one of these magazine blocker gizmos. And that way I'm running my drills with a magazine in place, especially on the 43X here. It just gives me a little bit more, like, I don't really need the grip so much. It just makes it, my draw stroke feels more correct when I've got the magazine in place, if that makes sense or whatever. But by having this guy and then having the pink Rhino in there, I know 100% for sure that I do not have live rounds. So I think that alone makes it a really, really cool training aid for at-home dry practice. So the green dot is 0 to 15 yards, and this wall is about 4 feet in front of me. So that's why the pink Rhino is printing low. It should be. But when I back it up a little bit, they land right on top of each other. Super cool. Here I'm aiming up a little bit so that you can see the dot. If I do it correctly, the flash actually hits right in front of the front sight post, kind of like that right there. Here I'm working pectoral index at kind of point blank range, and this is a 1 second par time that I'm not quite pulling off, but I'm trying. And what I'm doing there is I'm aiming for the lower right quadrant of the black circle with varying degrees of success. And the laser dot definitely shows you when you're doing it well, or if you're moving as you pull the trigger, kind of like right here. Yeah. So, and here I'm backed up to 6 feet, 1.25 second par time. Really just point shooting. I'm not even on sights. Just trying to work on my draw speed. But it's hard to see on camera, but I can totally see in daylight. Here I put the garage door down so that you can see it on camera a little better. I'm working a 1.5 5-second par time, and still just pretty much point shooting. The garage lighting, I can't really see the sights very well, so I'm kind of relying on just muscle memory, working the draw stroke. And again, even at 1.5, I'm still struggling a little bit, but I'm going to blame it mostly on the pants. Yeah, so these BDU pants were issued to me by Uncle Sam 29 years ago. And I'm just barely still able to fit in them. They're really much too snug to be doing like concealed carry with. But I was wearing them and I was too lazy to go change. And so here we are. And I really, I'm like barely able to get my hand in. It really sucks it in too close to my gut. And anyway, the sun was in my eyes. And also, people keep asking, why do I wear Ear Pro when I'm doing my dry practice in the garage? It's because this thing is really, really loud. And my ears are already fried from my time in the Army and concerts and car stereos and range time. And I worked in a wood shop for 6 years and never wore Ear Pro. And I'm nearly 50, so my ears are hammered. I've got crazy tinnitus in my left ear. And yeah, so that's why I'm wearing ear pros. I'm just trying to save what's left of my hearing. So anyway, I hope you found this informative. I'm giving it a thumbs up as a thing to add to your repertoire. Until next time, be easy, y'all.